National alerts ping. News tickers switch to clipped updates. Bases tighten security and air patrols rise, while everyone senses the shift without context. Rumors outrun facts. Let's see what U.S. defenses can do and what you should do instead. The real question is not whether America can swat every nuclear weapon out of the sky. Defend is a spectrum. In the best case, defenses can detect launches early, warn leaders, and sometimes reduce damage in limited scenarios. In the worst case, a large modern barrage still gets through, and the country still suffers major disruption. This is a model, not a prediction. It is not doomsday fiction. It is a plain look at capabilities, limits, and human decision pressure. In a nuclear crisis, the first things to fail are time and trust. Leaders have minutes, not hours. They must verify confusing sensor data while also preventing accidental escalation. Public trust strains as people see partial information, delayed statements, and viral clips that look real. The key idea is simple. U.S. missile defense is layered and serious, but it is not designed to guarantee protection against a peer-scale attack. It is built to raise the odds in narrow cases and to complicate an opponent's plans, not to create certainty. Start with the far threat. Intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs, launch from distant territory and arc through space. They usually provide more warning time, but they create the hardest interception problem, because the critical phase happens outside the atmosphere, with objects moving extremely fast. Then there is the close threat. Submarine-launched ballistic missiles, or SLBMs, can come from hidden submarines at sea. If launch points are closer, warning time shrinks. You may still detect a launch, but you have less time to sort what is real and to position defenses. Next are cruise missiles and low-altitude routes. These do not fly a high ballistic arc. They can be launched from aircraft, ships, or submarines, and can approach along unusual paths. They are slower, but they are harder to spot early because they hug terrain, blend into clutter, and can arrive in waves. Planners rarely fear one missile. They fear mixed attacks, a few ballistic missiles plus decoys, cruise missiles aimed at radars, cyber disruption to confuse communications. Even a single missile can carry more than one warhead, or at least more than one object that looks like a warhead. That is why Homeland defense is mostly tuned for limited attacks, such as a small number of missiles from a rogue state. Against a peer-scale strike designed to saturate sensors and spend interceptors, the goal shifts from stop everything to reduce damage where possible. Defense starts with seeing the launch. If you cannot detect and track an incoming missile, you cannot intercept it. The United States relies on space-based sensors that look for the heat signature of a rocket plume. Those sensors cue other systems, including large ground radars, to build a track and estimate where objects might go. Those radars include fixed early warning sites and specialized sensors that can refine a track as objects fly through space. The command networks then fuse inputs from space, sea, and land. The point is speed. The system must decide what is happening while the event is still unfolding. This chain has to work fast. Data flows to command systems that decide whether the event is real, what is being launched, and what kind of response is needed. That decision happens under stress and uncertainty. False alarms are rare, but they are taken seriously because the consequences are huge. These satellite systems also face modernization pressure. Older constellations have been extended and upgraded, and newer programs like Next-Gen OPIR are meant to provide better sensing and resilience. Schedules and launches can shift because space programs are hard and adversaries adapt. From a civilian's view, you do not see satellite tracks. You see indirect signals, emergency alerts. Air traffic patterns are suddenly changing, military flights overhead, confusing social media videos claiming impacts that have not been verified. A warning is necessary, but a warning alone does not equal interception. Think of Homeland missile defense as layers, not a dome. The highest layer tries to hit ballistic threats in space before they release or separate into multiple objects. The main Homeland system for that job is ground-based mid-course defense, often called GMD. It uses ground-based interceptors, or GBIs, launched from Alaska and California, designed to collide with an incoming object in space. The inventory is limited. The public number often cited is 44 deployed interceptors, with a smaller number at Vandenberg in California. That is not a lot if you imagine multiple incoming objects. It is a specialized force meant to handle a small attack, with redundant shots for each track. Sea-based systems add another layer. Aegis ballistic missile defense, using ships and sometimes fixed sites, can engage some ballistic missiles in certain conditions. Interceptors like the SM-3 have proven capability in tests, and those tests matter. But real war conditions can differ. Geography, timelines, and countermeasures matter. Then there are terminal and regional layers. THAAD and Patriot are designed to protect specific areas, bases, or cities from shorter-range missiles and aircraft. They can help in limited regions, but they are not a continent-wide shield against strategic missiles. All of these layers depend on sensors, communications, and timing. They also depend on having enough interceptors left when the real threats arrive. If the first wave is built to bait your defenses, it can drain your magazines before the main strike. The first limit is physics. Intercepting an object in space is like meeting a car on a highway, while both of you are moving at extreme speed, then trying to collide with a small point on that car. The guidance math is precise, and small errors matter. Even if your interceptor works, you still must identify the right target. The second limit is discrimination. A modern missile can deploy decoys, debris, and other countermeasures. In space, those objects can look similar to a warhead. Radars and sensors try to sort them, but the problem is hard, especially in a large raid designed to confuse. Some countermeasures are cheap, which is part of the problem. The third limit is scale. If an attacker launches many missiles, each with multiple objects, you can run out of interceptors. You can also saturate radars and decision systems. A defense that works against a few incoming threats can be overwhelmed by dozens. There is also geography. You can place interceptors in smart locations, but you cannot cover every approach equally well. Some trajectories give better engagement windows than others. And if an opponent mixes in cyber attacks, jamming, or anti-satellite actions, the defense has to fight with degraded senses. Finally, even a clean intercept is not a free win. Intercepts in space can create debris, confusion, and uncertainty about what was actually destroyed. And there is a truth people miss. Even partial success does not prevent national disruption. A single detonation anywhere in the country can trigger panic, grid stress, mass movement, and economic shock. Defense might mean saving some regions, buying time, or reducing casualties, not preventing the event entirely. Submarines change the game because they compress timelines. A missile launched from far away gives leaders more time to confirm, decide, and engage. A missile launched from closer waters can shrink that window sharply. Even if the launch is detected, the clock is louder. Cruise missiles create a different headache. They can arrive low, in groups, and from several directions. They can also be used to distract defenses that are focused on ballistic threats. In a mixed attack, sensors and crews have to divide attention across very different tracks. For civilians, the early signs may not be clear on the news. The early signs may be internet slowdowns, jammed phones, and partial statements. You may hear that something was intercepted, then hear another report that it was not. The key takeaway is simple. Even a strong military struggles to protect everywhere at once, and the first hours can feel like information fog. If this breakdown helps you plan calmly, subscribe and share it with someone you trust. In the first minutes, leaders prioritize continuity and control. They must make sure the warning is real, prevent a false launch, and keep command links intact. They also weigh escalation. A rushed decision can make a disaster worse, and a delayed decision can also be catastrophic. Public communication can lag behind events. Officials may avoid saying details until verification is solid. They may also worry that certain messages could cause panic movements that harm more people than it helps. During fast events, different agencies can receive different slices of the picture, which is why early statements sometimes conflict. Public order does not mean martial law everywhere. It often means emergency broadcasts, travel limits near key sites, protection for critical infrastructure, and rules for fuel and supply distribution. Confusing guidance does not always mean incompetence. Sometimes it means the situation is uncertain and evolving. If you ever get an alert that suggests a major strategic attack is possible, your first hour is about reducing injury risk and avoiding bad choices. You do not need perfect information to do basic safety steps. Get inside. Move away from windows and glass. If you are at home, pick an interior room on the lowest level you can use. If you are at work, follow the building's shelter guidance and get away from exterior walls. Do not stand outside to watch. Do not film from a window. If you are near a large city or a military site, assume roads may lock up quickly. That is why leaving immediately is often a trap. Your best move is usually to shelter first and wait for clear, verified instructions. If you later need to relocate, you will do it with better information and less risk. Next, break the rumor loop. Silence non-essential notifications. Keep one reliable news source and one official alert channel. Your brain will try to fill gaps with fear. Do not let it. Then communicate simply. Choose one out of the area contacts and send short messages only. Agree on check-in times, not constant calling. Conserve battery power and keep chargers ready. Avoid driving into congestion. And never assume that intercepted means safe. It can mean one object was hit. It does not mean the situation is over. Even if nothing hits near you, the first week can be rough. Grid stability can be stressed by sudden demand shifts and damaged infrastructure somewhere else. Fuel supply can tighten as pipelines, ports, and trucking slow down. Banking can become awkward as networks strain and cash demand rises. Hospitals can be overloaded, even far from any impact, because fear and injuries ripple outward. Your household priorities stay basic. Water first, food that is simple to prepare, medications and backups, hygiene so that sickness does not spread in a crowded, stressed environment. Set a rhythm. Small tasks, clear roles, short check-ins. Conserve what you have and avoid crowds unless you truly need something. The week is about stability, not heroics. You are trying to keep your home functional while the wider system shakes. Most people move through a curve. Disbelief turns into frantic checking, then exhaustion, then a new normal. Families argue because fear makes people stubborn. Kids need calm routines. Elders may resist changing habits. Control misinformation with a simple rule. 2 sources before you act, and at least one should be official or local and verified. Viral maps and dramatic clips can be wrong or old. Panic burns time and supplies faster than any shortage. So, could the United States defend its homeland against a nuclear strike? It can detect launches, and in limited cases, it may intercept some threats. The system is layered, real, and improving, but it cannot promise full coverage against a large, sophisticated attack from a major power. Near-future upgrades may improve odds. Programs like the Next Generation Interceptor are intended to strengthen homeland defense, and newer space warning systems are meant to improve tracking and resilience. Some plans have aimed at initial fielding around 2028, but schedules slip, technology is complex, and adversaries adapt with decoys, cyber disruption, and mixed attack plans. The real defense for a household is not a perfect shield in the sky. It is your own disciplined plan. Know where you would shelter, keep water and basic supplies. Keep a communication plan that works when networks are overloaded. Practice calm language so your home does not turn into a panic factory. You cannot control geopolitics. You can control your next actions, and that matters when information is incomplete. Missile defense can reduce risk in narrow cases, but it offers no guarantee. The smarter plan is calm action. Shelter, water, simple communication, and steady choices when information is incomplete.